following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program, because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children, and not for coworkers either.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back. It's Thursday morning, November 16th.
I gotta go. It's Thursday. I'm only supposed to be here Friday.
Yeah, you're not. What are you even doing? How'd you get in here? Welcome back to the show. This is rumble.com/JJW. Deacon has the link to the Discord up in the corner if you want to come hang out with us during the day or come chat with us or even chat on the show. We're going to talk about news. We're going to talk politics, culture, pop culture. There's some Marvel news. Ooh, guys, you love Marvel movies, Marvel TV shows. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Have they made any since Howard the Duck?
I like that
I learned
movie.
Howard is not the first Marvel movie. I learned
that
that Howard is not the first Marvel movie.
Was it?
No, it's not.
Not technically, no.
Well, they made some crappy ones in the 60s.
Yeah, Red Sonja.
Red Sonja. Yeah, Red Sonja is a Marvel. That's exactly right.
Because they didn't use the Robert E. Howard version of her. They used the Marvel version of her in the movie, which makes this the first full-length theater release Marvel movie.
Let's put old Red Sonja on the next Avengers team. I'm down. Let's do it. Okay, so we got a bunch of news.
We could go on.
So we go for a while. So we got some Marvel news at the end. We got some political news that's just aggravating, and we got some world news that's just scary, and we got some feel good stories. There's some maybe a zombie, I don't know, and then some Marvel stuff. So that's what we got on the slate. But before we do any news, guys, let's talk about music. And by the way, did you check out that band I put up in the list for you yesterday?
I meant to this morning, but I've been behind. I honestly, when I logged on this morning, I was like, "Oh, JJ put those 3 songs in our playlist," and I was like, "I need to listen to all 3 of them." No, seriously. No. I'm that kind of person. I'm not just going to blow it away. If it's a new song, I want to at least listen to it and give it a. But I guess that's just one. No, there's 2 songs. Okay. No, I didn't get a chance to this morning because I've been running behind. But I will. I've got one that my brother. Me too, as well. It's like, did you listen to that song? I'm like, no, dude, I haven't listened. I will. I swear to God, I will. So our song today was a song that you might remember from the early 90s. Do you remember Sade?
I remember the name, but I wouldn't know the name of a song of a person unless I heard the beat, and I'd be like, oh, I recognize that.
Us Americans would probably know Sade's song. No Ordinary Love was a big hit in the early 90s. This is no
ordinary love. Yeah.
That's Sade. And she was huge over across the pond. In Britain, she is like one of the number 1 female selling artists of all time over there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Very highly influential on modern contemporary pop music over there is she did. So I was just, I remember me and my brother were talking about, I remember how we got into this. Me and my brother are honestly thinking about starting a music podcast because we talk about music so much. And I said, dude, we could do a podcast over this. So because we have conversations like this, we were talking about the band The Civil Wars. He loves that band. I love that band. We were talking about the cover songs, and he said, have you ever heard their version of No Ordinary Love? And I was like, no. He's like, oh my God, you got to listen to it. And I was like, oh man, the Sade version is great. I hadn't heard that in a long time. So as I was washing dishes, I listened to music. I put on this and I was listening to it yesterday. I was like, oh, what a great song. This is a wonderful song. I forgot to throw it up, but that's our song of the day is Sade, No Ordinary Love. And while in the middle of the conversation with Logan, he said, he said, "Have you heard the Deftones version of that song?" And I said, "The Deftones did a version of No Ordinary Love." And he was like, "Yeah, dude, you've got to listen to it." And so I put them both up today. You have Sade, No Ordinary Love, and the Deftones, No Ordinary Love. When you get a chance, listen to both of them. They are on our playlist on our Discord server right here. I'm tickling it. Ooh, I'm tickling our Discord server. So we'll go check out our songs of the day. I'm working on a playlist. So check it out. You might like it.
We got a lot of little projects going on. I'm working on like 2 or 3 or 4 like projects too, and like it's hard to keep all those balls juggling, but it's also really satisfying once you get like at least one of them done. You'd be like, I accomplished something here. So I'm working on some nerdy stuff. All right, anything, Dave? You got anything special you want to talk about before we start talking about Johnson's?
Yeah, I'm not going to be here tomorrow because I have a 6-month checkup, CT scan, through cancer and all that stuff. I guess I'm cancer free. We'll find out tomorrow. Exciting.
Kick cancer in the balls, dude.
I ripped it out.
Okay. All right. So I didn't put the title card up of the show. I guess I should have done that, but today's title is the Freedom Caucus is fuming mad. I'm trying to be a little more diverse in the title cards, so maybe I'll find it up in a second. So Speaker Johnson, Deke, we talked yesterday. Speaker Johnson passed a continuing resolution yesterday. Maybe it was the day before, and it passed the Senate. And he got an overwhelming majority of votes in support of his of the spending bill. So now we're going to borrow $1.5 trillion.
Oh, just a trillion.
But it's like it's not this year. We're going to borrow $1.5 trillion over the next 2 quarters, and we're going to be able to fund the government while we think about talking about negotiating to perhaps cut spending. Okay. So
are we borrowing this from anybody we've loaned money to recently?
I'm not sure who we borrow money from other than well, I mean, I do know who we borrow money from. When we borrow money in the United States,
to say their last name.
we borrow money from your children and their grandchildren, and we're stealing their wages.
At this point,
before they
are we
ever
borrowing from our children?
No, it's our
grandchildren. I think we might be onto the 4th generation. At this
you
point.
guys are borrowing from your grandchildren potentially, but I'm going to be borrowing from my kids. They're still really young. This is all terrible. This is so bad. So here is the first story. Johnson has a 2-step continuing resolution that allows more time to cut spending and be done with these short-term funding bills. The short-term funding bills were the things that gave you leverage and allowed you to threaten to shut down the government and negotiate with Democrats. But instead, we're just going to write a check and hope they talk to us. So, House Speaker Johnson assured his colleagues and the general public that his 2-step continuing resolution will allow the House GOP more time to reach a consensus on federal spending cuts, and declaring that he will not pursue any more short-term funding bills. However, there's still some people that voted against it, and it ultimately passed with a bipartisan vote on Tuesday evening. Our country is facing $33 trillion of debt. 33 trillion. Your brain cannot even understand what that number means. It doesn't. It's absurd. It's an absurdity. Let's see. We are on an unsustainable track with our debt. There's no 2 ways about it. Johnson said Tuesday on Capitol Hill. The annual interest.
Trillion, you said?
Oh, I have the clock available for us in a few minutes. Yeah. We're over 33. The annual interest on the U.S. national debt has hit $1 trillion. The national debt is nearly 34 trillion. It's like 30. Well, I'll get the number in a second. Our interest on our debt is $1 trillion a year. It's mind-boggling. So there's some,
query.
Yeah.
Quadrillion's next. Quadrillion is next.
One simple question. Who do we owe $33 trillion to?
I'm not sure.
China
is China. I think I read maybe last week or so. China is no longer purchasing the bonds. No, China is no longer buying our debt, and they're trying to dump it because it isn't fucking worth anything.
So follow up. Just one simple follow up. What happens when the persons that we owe $33 trillion to want their money?
They get a baseball bat?
I started to say, do we see Tony and Vito come knocking at our door?
No, it's not like that, guys. No, look, what we'll do, and this is because like our government is the United States government. They get to print the dollar bills. What we'll do is we'll just print a bunch more dollar bills, and we'll just print some more money, and then we'll give it to the people we owe. And then maybe your food and gas prices might go up a little bit.
Dude, when you get a text, does your phone say, "Hey, you got a text"?
That was me. Yeah.
That's the awesomest freaking thing in the world. I love that, sir.
It's Castiel from Supernatural.
Oh,
I didn't realize I had it on. Sorry. I was like,
no, that
you
was
can have
awesome.
a text. I didn't know you could have a text ringtone.
I wanted to do that for a long time. When my daughter Maggie calls, her ringtone, I had her do this. We were farting around in the car one day recording ourselves, and so I recorded this. She's talking in a little British girl voice, and she goes, "Father, this is your daughter. Will you please pick up the telly? Hello." And when I'm not expecting it, I'm like sitting there doing something. All of a sudden, it scares the hell out of me. I'm like, "Oh my God."
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great ringtone. Sorry. Okay. I'm looking up who we owe.
Please find out who we owe money to.
That's what I'm looking up right now.
I'm still weaving a narrative thread here. So, Speaker Johnson, in case you don't remember his face, this is what he looks like. Oh, he's a handsome fellow, right? The U.S. House Speaker Johnson's honeymoon has ended as hardline Republicans rebel. If you recall, we used to have a Republican speaker named McCarthy, and he was fired because he was making deals with Democrats. So we fired that guy, and then we were like, we're not going to have a House Speaker until we can agree on somebody. And then we didn't agree, and we didn't agree, and we didn't agree. And then we finally said, this guy, he looks trustworthy. We'll hire this guy to be the new Speaker of the House. And now he's making deals with Democrats. So some other Republicans not happy. 3 weeks after.
When you want it.
What's that?
I found this information when you want it.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, hold on. 3 weeks after he won the speakership, he's already got 15 or 19 Republicans that are pushing back against him, including, and this is why I want to get to this, including Chip Roy. So here we have a little clip here. This is only like a few seconds, so let's check this out.
I'm sick and tired of it. I didn't come here for second place. I didn't come here for more excuses. I didn't come here to have the Speaker of the House assume the position and in 17 days pass a continuing resolution of the floor of this House through suspension of the rules.
So, you know what? I bet Chip has a Harley Davidson.
I like Chip. I love watching Chip on the floor.
Right here. Right there. I mean, right exactly in that spot.
He's not the congressperson most likely to stand up and try to fist fight you, because there's a senator that is willing to do that. I don't know if you saw that story, but he threatened the leader of the Teamsters to have a fist fight on a committee floor. So no, Chip Roy is great, and he's mad, and here's what he's mad about. He's doing this. Johnson has done the same thing that McCarthy done, and the same thing that Pelosi did, which was suspend the rules and force a vote. And that's what he's upset about. Like, the rules are, you're supposed to be able to present a bill and allow people to present amendments. You're supposed to be able to debate it. They set all that stuff aside and just said, let's go into the floor, vote for it or not. So that's what he's upset about. That is why the Freedom Caucus is furious. All right. Do you guys have any thoughts about that?
Well, they're just mad because they The Republicans do the same thing that they did, and then they get mad and point it out. It happens. It's in everything. And look what's happening with Trump and all this crap. You know, did you see there's a Jen Psaki. Did you know she's got a show now? I guess she's got a show.
Yeah. Right after she left the White House, she got a, in fact, before she left the White House as Biden's redheaded liar, she got a job at MSNBC as a I don't know, personality or something.
Yeah,
I don't know who watches MSNBC.
It's just funny the stuff that come off of her show yesterday. They were playing some stuff and making fun of it on one of those videos I was watching yesterday. I was like, man, I can't. The vitriol that they're spitting out is like venom. I mean, it's so dangerous that these people that don't know, that are uneducated voters, are getting poison. This venom spit all over them, and they are being poisoned. They don't even realize they're being poisoned. Oh, all right, here. I found this. Let me.
Well, who do we owe money to? Who is this $34 trillion we owe?
Yeah. Let me put this up so that you can actually see this as well. First, the debt held by the public stands at more than $24.64 trillion. This represents debt securities like treasury bonds and notes bought by banks, insurance companies, state and local governments, foreign governments, and private investors. Those last two, see that? Foreign governments and private investors. The remaining debt, which totals about $6.83 trillion, can be classified as intragovernmental holdings. This is basically debt the government owes itself. For example, some federal trust funds invest in treasury securities, thereby lending money to the Treasury, the Social Security Administration, the Department of Defense. I bet the Department of Defense gets a lot. And the United States Postal Service have investment holdings in federal debt. And look, the top 10 territories that own the most U.S. debt.
Wow.
In total, other territories hold about $7.4 trillion in U.S. debt. Japan owns the most at $1.1 trillion, followed by China, $859 billion, and the UK at $668 billion.
Wow.
By the way,
Islands is on this list.
Wow.
The Cayman Islands is on this list.
Good job, Cayman Islands. I don't know who's negotiating for you guys, but you're winning. That's amazing.
Luxembourg, Belgium.
Canada is our neighbor, and we didn't give them that much money.
They don't need much up there, dude. Canada's cool. Canada's like, hey, we need a toque and some weed, eh?
So a bunch of we owe some to a bunch to other. So it said we owe $26 billion to foreign governments, and we owe like 26 trillion, and 6 trillion to ourselves somewhere. That's what it said. Oh, Deke's on the phone. Check this out. I know you guys have seen this before, but if you haven't and you're curious, go look at the debt clock. The debt clock. This thing right here. This allows you to see how much money we all of us Americans are in debt. And as you see, that number is going up by hundreds of thousands per minute.
Well, currently, to be fair, it's the holiday shopping season.
Yeah, well, run up that Visa, run up that MasterCard. Currently, you two owe $100,000 each, and your kids and your spouse each owe $100,000.
Only?
Nah.
Yeah, 100,000.
I can write you a check if you'll just hold on to that for a couple of weeks.
Oh man. So, and the cool thing about this site is that I think you can project out to the future. Where's the, I don't know where it is. I'll look for it.
There's a lot going on there.
You can project out to the future of the debt. I don't see it right now. So you can like look at 2050, 2040. It's not good. All right. That's debt. Yeah, they got an app. And just in case you want to be bummed out at any given moment, you can pull your phone out.
$5.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. I didn't download it. I'm in debt.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. We got some other stuff here. We quite frequently talk about immigration and and migrants or refugees. We talk quite a bit about illegal border crossings, people claiming to be refugees when they're really economic migrants. And there's a little bit of news, especially since like Mayorkas survived an impeachment, because the Republicans are just as bad as the Democrats. Check this out. From the post-millennial, illegal immigrants warn each other against New York's new shelter at Floyd Bennett Park. So the scuttlebutt among the illegal immigrants is, hey, don't go over there, that place they're setting up for us. Don't go over there. They don't even have TV available.
But you've got to hand it to these immigrants. They really have assimilated into American society pretty quickly, it seems.
Really? Yeah. Hey, we deserve better than this. The whole time I've been concerned, like, how are these people going to assimilate? Well, apparently they care. Yeah. The immigrants are warning each other to stay away from New York's new tent city that's located at Floyd Bennett Field. They say the controversial Brooklyn shelter is crazy and not suitable for children, which has prompted families to either flee the site or refuse to be transported there. This has created a significant problem because this site, which is made up of 4 congregate sleeping dorms that can hold 2,000 people, is currently the only shelter in the city that the city is offering to illegal immigrants with children. So, well, I don't know. Good luck, New York. Hey, guys, don't worry. The illegal immigrants out there that are listening to the show, I got nothing against you personally. I'm really just concerned about border security and crime and stuff like that. But New York says that they are a sanctuary state, sanctuary city. So they're going to take care of you. I wouldn't worry about this.
No comment.
No comment.
I got a political story for you, JJ.
You? Okay, I got a couple more. Go on. What you got?
Did you see yesterday that Iran? My website's going crazy here, so I'm not going to put it up. But Iran's
New York Post.
No, it's Yahoo News. Iran's supreme leader told the head of Hamas in a face-to-face meeting in Tehran that his country would not enter the war with Israel, and has accused the terror group of not giving any prior warning of the October 7th attacks. The Ayatollah Ali Khamenei told Ismail Haniyeh that Iran, a longtime backer of Hamas, would continue to lend the group its political and moral support, but would not intervene directly, according to 3 Iranian and Hamas officials with knowledge of the discussion who wished to this. Yeah, that's very interesting. I thought that was very interesting.
And that is kind of interesting. So Iran is saying, well, I mean, look at how it's going so far.
To something on the UN, UN's whatever.
Maybe. Yeah,
no, they did. It was something like critical, like
an
Iran
humanitarian.
I think that's what it was. I think
really.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
So if you kind of take a wide angle view of this, the situation is on October 7th, Hamas surprise attacked Israel, and I guess Israel and the United States, and I guess maybe Iran didn't know it was going to happen, and then everybody got rowdy and upset about that, obviously. So Israel starts responding, and now you have the places around. You got Lebanon, Syria. You got the terrorists in these places surrounding Israel, also attacking Israel, and Israel saying, "Okay, we're going to push back." And they literally like mowed down the north half of Gaza and pushed all of the people, the Palestinians, from North Gaza into South Gaza across that river. And so Iran's looking at the whole situation, being like, this is not looking like a winning situation. So we're not going to get involved right now. But they have been sending weapons and, training and fighters. And there's also been a bunch of attacks against American personnel and military bases. And one contract, 59 people have been injured in drone attacks and stuff like that in the Middle East. And one U.S. contractor is dead. So, in part due to Iran-backed like terrorist attacks. So
don't move from the subject. Hang on.
Okay. All right. I think I had one of these too.
It said the supreme leader said he pressed him to silence those voices in Palestine, in the Palestinian group publicly calling for Iran and its powerful Lebanese army, Hezbollah, to join the battle against Israel in full force. There it is. Yeah, my story's not pulling up, but that's the story. There you go.
So
that's basically all it says. The rest of the article is just talking about what happened and
right. So he's still endorsing it. He just don't want to pick up the bill. Doesn't want to get involved. Have you ever seen these? Have you ever noticed that these guys, these ayatollahs, these leaders in Iran, especially, they always kind of like sit in these chairs and they don't hold the mics at all. They're not really like assertive or stand up, and the mics are just always kind of like placed right in front of them, and it just seems kind of weird. Like they're I don't know,
cultural thing.
It must be a cultural thing. I don't know.
That's all I have political wise.
Speaking of this conflict, there were some pro-Palestinian protesters, and they fought with some people in DC last night. Now you would think, right? Pro-Palestinian protesters. Well, they were probably fighting pro-Israel people, or they were probably blocking, I don't know, those evil conservatives, and they were protesting like, some people on the right. But check this out. Pro-Palestinian protesters clash with police outside the Democratic National DNC, which is the offices for the Democratic Party, is in Washington, D.C. U.S. Capitol Police said they were making arrests at a pro-Palestinian protest on Wednesday night in Southeast D.C. The protesters had gathered outside of the headquarters of the DNC just south of the Capitol before authorities said several dozen protesters got into a shoving match with officers. Police then used pepper spray and pushed back on protesters to move them a block away from the building. And then members of the Democratic Party were evacuated from the DNC. People had also been asked to avoid the area. So right now, our officers are working to keep back approximately 150 people who are illegally and violently protesting in the areas of Canal Street and Ivy Street, whatever. But get this. The pro-Palestinian faction, they're like usually leftists. They're left. They're not, traditional right conservatives. And now you have the DNC, the Democratic Party, which usually stands in opposite, is opposed by conservatives and Republicans on the right, is now being flanked by their own left. So the DNC is being attacked.
Are they asking them to do more, and is that why they're protesting?
Look, the DNC is propped up not insubstantially, quite substantially by like pro-Israel Jewish donors, right? So one faction of support for the Democratic Party is fighting another faction, literally fighting another faction.
The Republicans have been fighting. The Democrats have been
fighting.
Yeah.
We for sure do.
Right now.
Yeah. In fact, I saw a poll this morning on one of the websites. It was like, because Vivek Ramaswamy has been calling for Ronna McDaniel to resign, get out of there. And, and she pushed back on that and says, look, I'm focused on Biden. But, she sucks. And I'm like, whatever, Republicans. But yeah, there's Republican infighting too, a bunch of it. Chris Christie is up on a debate stage, and he said, I'm running against Trump, and these other people, Nikki Haley and DeSantis, they're running for spot number 2. Okay, bunch of delusional people.
No
okay,
comment.
I think that's all the yeah. I think. Oh, we got. Sorry, one more. Do you remember way back when there was Antifa attacked Stop Cop City in Georgia, and there was attacks and fires and stuff like that? On Wednesday, Antifa militants claimed responsibility for torching a concrete company to prevent the construction of a police training facility in Atlanta. 61 Antifa militants have already been indicted on RICO charges and dozens more on terrorism charges. So, yeah. everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're in massive debt, threat of war. we have the political parties are eating themselves. It's okay. All right. Let's see. I think I got all of those. Hey,
no more political stuff, JJ.
I think no. Maybe this is on the bubble.
Oh, okay.
Deke doesn't have a target. I know that because earlier this year when we were talking about Target, you guys don't have a Target in Paducah. You got a Target up there and where you're at, Dave?
E-Town. Yes, you mean the shopping center?
Yeah.
It's about 40 minutes away.
You recall? I'm sure that earlier this year, Target had a bit of a problem because during Pride Month, they were selling tuck-friendly trans onesies and stuff like that. And people got a little mad. My wife, as far as I know, has not been back in a Target in all of these months.
Cry me a freaking river.
Okay. She's not happy about it. So you would think, and then as a result, Target lost billions of dollars. Target lost enormous revenue, and their stock is down 10% right now. So you'd think that they'd pull a Bud Light and try to reform their image, right?
Right.
Nope. Target shuns Christian shoppers, and they hire a gay pride strategist to be their new marketing guy. So Target is doubling down on the alphabet gay stuff, and they're going to make sure that the products they offer flip the script and rewrite the narrative of consumer packaged goods that retail industries to serve all segments and thoughtfully, authentically cater to all guests, all humans, all hearts. So there's definitely going to be more gay products in Target. So for those of you that are
all segments, right?
Yeah, all segments that are gay.
So they're shunning those who would disagree, but they're going.
Listen,
them all.
Listen, Mr. Christian, you can go buy tuck-friendly stuff too. They're trying to serve you also. Okay. That's the political news of the morning.
All right. I have this is not really political news, but it's world news.
I like that.
We talked about this earlier this week, I think, but Iceland has experienced more earthquakes. Like, no, I'll fix it next time. I'll fix it next time.
Is there a vacuum going on somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I mean, that's my wife. Let me mute.
Okay.
No, you're good. After experiencing 700 earthquakes on Tuesday, Iceland meteorologists said Wednesday morning the country has experienced another 800 since midnight. The quakes came after researchers detected sulfur dioxide, a gas that indicates magma is near the ground to surface. Most of the earthquakes that struck early Wednesday were in the middle of a magma dike at a depth between roughly 2 to 3 miles. They also said that there is a clear indications of deformation in the area, that the magma is still flowing, although part of the dike, which it's going into, seems to be solidifying. They're evacuating people from Iceland.
They should.
From this area that it is gonna blow.
Along these lines, did you see
at the moment is worrying?
Oh, so I didn't realize there was
the seismic activity is close to a populated area.
Oh, whoops!
It's close to infrastructure such as a geothermal power plant and a major spa lagoon. And what happened was, from the 25th, there's been a progressive accumulation of molten rock, magma, beneath the Earth's surface, which has caused the surface of the Earth to deform, effectively balloon, as the pressure of the magma and the volume of the magma increases. Events took a sudden turn on Friday, the 10th of November. The magma that had accumulated beneath the ground suddenly began to propagate into a so-called intrusion, a thin sliver of magma that began to propagate towards the surface. And this intrusion now sits just below the Earth's surface, so a molten sheet of magma over a distance of 15 kilometers, and it in fact stretches through and beneath the coastal town of Grindavik.
That's kind of scary for Iceland, dude.
Yeah. Along those lines, did you see the volcano that has created a new island off the coast of Japan?
Japan, the Japanese ones, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about
that. Yeah, that might be where I saw it.
We blew up. The one blew up in Sicily, and then there was the one in Mexico. So yeah, everything is fine. Nothing is going really wrong.
That's what that was.
Do you think maybe Iceland ought to consider rebranding if they have like 15 kilometers of magma in one part of their
volcano land
country? The volcano land?
Yeah, maybe. Talk to Oprah. She's good with property, I hear. Like property that's been devastated by certain things. She's good. That's what I hear. Hey, you have a interesting story. The very top story is very interesting. It's kind of a world story as well. And this is
okay.
This is something that is. You want to pull it up, and I can.
I don't know which one you mean. I don't know.
Story. It's the very top story.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes, that's quite
that story.
Bye.
Oh
Bye.
dear. Look at that.
Oh dear. Yeah. Here. Oh dear. Check it out. Zombie deer disease is confirmed at Yellowstone National Park.
This is not
zombie deer disease. So I posted this, and when Deke replied, he was like, not even impressed. I was like, what is this? This deer looks crazy. And this can't be a real photo.
No, it is. If you've never seen video of deer with it's called chronic wasting disease, CWD, and it's a zombie deer disease. It turns these deer into, they call them zombies, but it affects their brain so much. If you've never seen, it's kind of heartbreaking to watch some of these deer that they've filmed with this disease. It affects these deer so bad that they are trying to stop it any way possible. Every state around Kentucky has had deer that were have chronic wasting disease, and we have not had one in our state yet. And our gun season just started last week, and that was
Saturday. Yep.
I talked about it every other hour. Was that this year the regulations are for 2 weeks, every deer killed, doesn't matter if it's on your property, somebody else's property, blah blah blah, take it to a station. And they said most like 99% of Kentucky hunters are cooperating with this. And so far I haven't heard of any in this past week since it started, but so far this disease has not entered the state of Kentucky as we know it. And this disease is like it says, it's like a mad cow disease, man. It affects these deer so bad that you have to put them out of their misery. There's no recovering from this. And it's terribly. This could, they're really trying to work on this bad. If it's confirmed Yellowstone, this is not good. This is not good news.
I don't know a whole lot about this. I'm not a hunter, and I don't really, track deer. I don't know anything about deer or this disease. But if they're saying there's no treatment, there's no cure, and it's wildly infectious, then I mean, what other solution is there other than to wipe out a population of deer? They're trying
to cull it, but I mean, you can't just go and mow down everything with a Gatling gun, Hearing something.
So this disease, this chronic wasting disease, I thought this part of the article was interesting. The disease is caused by infectious, misfolded variants of proteins that can cause their normal counterparts to fold incorrectly. They're called prions, which slowly destroy the brain and nervous system. Symptoms include stumbling, drooling, and a drastic loss of body mass or wasting. So it's crazy.
They say that it doesn't affect humans, but they think that it may pose risk to like primates and stuff like that. They don't think. There are currently no known vaccinations, treatments for the disease. They say it's been notoriously difficult to fight. Even containment methods such as controlled burning of impacted areas do not remove the threat. Most attempts to eradicate this disease have failed, and scientists in other states have had limited success in their efforts to control the spread. That's why Yeah, like right here, the CDC is urging hunters to avoid animals that look sick or found dead or act strangely. That's why Kentucky is really had gone all out this year and like, please do this. Please. If you are a hunter, we like to call. When I talk about hunting to people that don't know about hunting, I don't like to use the word hunting because that has an ingrained negative connotation to some people. I like to use the word conservationists because when people say they go out and use an AR-15 and blow away the deer, you don't know what hunting is, and I don't know what your cartoon you're watching, but you don't shoot a deer more than once, and you try not to shoot a deer more than once because you're going to harvest it for meat, and you're either going to shoot it. You're trying to shoot it right here in the heart to make it painless. You know, you want
the death to be quick, and you don't want toxins to spread through the
conservationists. 99% of them are conservationists. That means they don't go out and mount it all on their wall.
Right.
There was a 29-point buck that was killed here in, I think, our county here this past season.
Does that mean the number of like points on its okay? I never knew.
An odd number is are called atypical because they are not. You see the ones that have pink, and are like symmetrical on both sides. Those are called atypical. Those are going to be normally even numbers. You have an odd numbered deer, 29 point. It's the ones that look like they're mutated. So that's what he looked like. He had one, you know, it was all mutated points going everywhere.
But 29 points. He wasn't a young guy.
No, he was not young. He was a big buck. Yeah,
he was a good size.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Avengers X Wars, who's watching us on Rumble. And he's a great moderator over on the Contest to Champion server. They're all like super happy because like there's some sort of like contest content that they got dropped and like they're all over it. And I'm like I don't have any idea what's going on.
The Necropolis.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. I think he told me it's like the next abyss or something. I was like, I don't know what that means. I hope you guys are happy. Just
the heart. Yeah. I know what you're talking. Yeah.
You need Aegon.
Yeah. Oh,
somebody on Twitter had posted a top 10, the top 10 characters on Marvel Contest of Champions. Now the top 10 best characters, and the only one I had was Gladiator, and he was
oh, really? Oh wow!
I was like, I don't even know who number 4 is. I don't even know who that.
Oh my god! Yeah, they just released two new champions that are like Canadian First Nations people or something that like made. I was like,
I pushed for Native American people for a long time, for many years, and
you got some.
I pushed for Native American. We got Danny Moonstar, and this is cool. I'm glad that they're doing that. But thanks for doing it after our asses have stopped playing for 2 years.
Yeah, you would think that they would do. You think they would do Warpath? They didn't do Warpath. Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Here's some. Okay, so we got some more quirky type stories here. Let's do this one.
He said it's content you can't do, JJ.
Of course I can't. I know that. You're not insulting me, bro. And hey, by the way, pretty soon, I'm not sure when. And for those of you guys that watch us on Rumble, I appreciate it the most, but I can't put your comments on the screen because not my fault. But Rumble has a studio, and I'm in the beta for it or whatever. So whenever that gets to start, we're gonna prioritize Rumble comments as soon as we can put them on screen. And YouTube can eat my butt.
I can remember on the UMCOC podcast when JJ was actually humbled at his skill level in a Marvel Contest of Champions, because we all come to the podcast and we all thought we were pretty good.
I got whooped.
You know, we all thought we were pretty good, and then we started listening to Bagel and Royal, and we're like,
"Yeah,
no, I'm not as good as them."
Who told them how to do this? No, I don't know.
How do you do all that? Royal is right. And then we go to the New York to do the thing, and I thought Bagel was going to whoop my butt, and
y'all were in the lightweight class.
I think I could have beat him. Yeah,
what's that?
We were in the band.
Lightweight class. Y'all were in the lightweight class, the Banta class.
We were diversity.
Let's humor these guys and let
they hired a bunch of people based on skill, and then me based on
they needed to fill the gaps with the COC podcast.
Yeah. You know what? And we still owe Aurora, because I think Aurora made that happen, and that was the first time we got to meet. That was awesome. Okay, so let's go back to stories.
We got the secret tour of the Marvel headquarters. We got
maybe
the Marvel.
We did.
We could not take pictures. I really wanted to. They had statues in there, and Iron Man. It was so cool.
The Captain America one was cool.
They had a library, so if they're working on stuff, they could just walk over to the library and get any one of the freaking comic books on the wall. I was like, really? You can just pick it up and get your inspiration? That's so awesome.
This is fun, actually, to talk about for a second, because you think you would go to Marvel and be like, I'm going to go to Marvel. I'm going to see the headquarters. I'm going to get to see people actually drawing, actually writing stories, actually creating stuff. No, you get to walk past the cubicles of lawyers. The legal department.
we did get to see like Chris Claremont's office, or we got to see somebody's office.
No, it was CB Bukowski or whatever. He's the editor in chief.
No, there was another big guy, Joe Quesada. Joe Quesada.
Oh, Joe Quesada. Yeah, but he wasn't there.
He wasn't there, but we got to see his office, and we got to see his little name plaque, and we got to look into his office. Like, that's where Joe sits right there. All right, so since we're talking about Marvel, I've got some Marvel type news for you.
Oh, okay.
You want to get into Sunday was 5 years since Stan Lee passed away.
Oh,
yeah.
Have those buttholes stopped using his Twitter account yet? Did you know? Like after Stan Lee died, they just kept using his Twitter account. The real Stan Lee. Yeah. And every time he would post, his comments would, whoever was using the account, the replies would be like, "Stop using this account. This is horrible and sick." But they were using it for marketing, trying to promote, like whoever owned his account. Anyway, Deke got a phone call right at the end there. So okay. All right. Go ahead, Deke. What's your Marvel story?
We were just talking about Marvel, and I thought we could get into this. I know you had a Marvel story, but I had one here that we talked about this before. But look at this. Jeremy Renner runs uphill for the first time in a video celebrating his 10 months of recovery since that tragic freaking
dude.
We talked about that. Hey. So Deke's got the phone call. So here's the video. Here's the video right here. This is Jeremy Renner hopping down the street. He's
getting it.
He got, if you don't recall, Jeremy Renner got it was in a snowmobile accident 10 months ago or so, a little bit more than 10 months ago, last winter. He was plowing either his property or his neighbor's property or something, and he stopped the snow plow to do something and got out, but he didn't. I don't know. Something went wrong, and his leg got caught underneath the snowplow, and he suffered massive injuries. And it was real concern that he was in critical condition. So the fact that he is now able to move this athletically and be able to run uphill like that, I mean, it's a huge comeback for Hawkeye.
Yeah, I always liked the Hawkeye character.
He is legit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. I thought that was a good story.
Yeah.
So I thought there was a couple other things. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Probably not.
Fantastic Four news.
There is. Pablo Pascal. Pablo Pascal is. Did
we lose Deke?
No, his back hurts. His back hurts. Pablo Pascal may be your next Reed Richards.
Who? The Mandalorian.
Pablo Pascal, the Mandalorian's voice. Pedro Pascal.
Pedro.
Sorry, whatever. Sorry. My bad. My bad, Pablo. Pedro.
I was talking with one of the leaders at church last night about this because this is important church stuff. And his comment was, Pedro is not pretty enough to be Reed. He could be Dr. Doom. He could be Thing, but not Reed. I'm like, but I think he's got the chops.
Yeah, I do too.
I've seen him in some good stuff, and and I've also seen him be kind of insufferable in some other things. So, I mean, overall, I like him. You know, he doesn't actually dress up in the Mandalorian costume. That's not him.
No, that's not him.
He just does the voice. He was the pretend Trump in the Wonder Woman 1984 movie. It wasn't Trump. It was like whatever the bad guy was, but the bad guy was basically Trump. He's been in some other stuff too. He's all right. I don't see him as Reed Richards though. That's not what I imagine. There's some other stuff. Did you see the What If season 2 trailer?
Comes out
What if season 2 is coming out real soon?
Yeah.
It's gonna be out in December. And what they're gonna do is there's 9 episodes. So 9 days in a row right before Christmas or right around there, they're going to do like one a day. Like it's an advent calendar.
That's cool.
So
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to, we're going to see.
Started Loki.
I haven't either. I haven't started.
You guys are missing out on the only good pop culture thing.
Do not tell me I'm missing out. You still haven't watched Rebels.
I'm not watching that.
Dude, I'm over here. Yeah. I'm like into season 3 now, and dang, it got good.
Did it?
Got really good.
Told you.
Holy cow. I wasn't expecting all that.
Told you.
It's right here.
Do you see how I've been trying to get JJ because it expands on the original? It helps
I still gotta go back and watch the other. We've talked about this. There's Clone Wars, the animated series, and then there's Star Wars, the Clone Wars.
Watch
the
that.
Animated series.
You don't gotta watch the Clone.
I watched the original Clone Wars cartoon series, and I liked it. It was only like 2 seasons. I liked it.
But the Clone Wars, the
animated new one,
the longer one is really the one that's really good.
That's the one that's that's like computer characters. They had one that was animated like a cartoon.
Oh yeah.
One was more cartoon, and one was more computer. Yeah, it's the longer. There's like 4 or 5 seasons of it. It's really good. I'm telling you, it's JJ. It's worth.
I'll get
watching.
into all of them eventually.
It really is worth watching. The Rebels is worth watching. The stories that they get into, because me and Sinister were talking about the whole Darth Maul sub plot line that's in the Rebels, and I'm like, man, it's so wonderful. And there's Dave Filoni has put so many subtle little things in there that other Star Wars fans have been like, did you see where he did this and they did this, and that was an homage to this. It's really so good, dude. It really is.
I mean, I
bring that up just to say that there's lots of shows I haven't watched in recent years, like on the Marvel stuff. I haven't watched there's
a bunch. Hold on, let's try. Did you watch She-Hulk?
Yeah.
Did you watch She-Hulk? You watched She-Hulk. Did you watch Hawkeye? You watched Hawkeye. Did you watch? Of course, you watched WandaVision. I'm sure. Which ones am I forgetting?
The newest one.
You watch Ms. Marvel.
I like Ms. Marvel.
I
she was amazing, and
she was a great little actress.
So I had a buddy of mine who watched the movie, the Marvels movie, and he said the only negative stuff he has seen about the movie is that it didn't do well in the box office. He enjoyed the movie a lot, which surprised me slightly. But he said that I can't remember her name, Kamala. He said she is a gem, and no one ever better say.
I get the impression
about her. She's awesome.
I get the impression that she's very, very likable.
She is
and charming.
That TV show, but also on that TV show, it's the I don't know how to put this. The production of the TV show. It looks like a comic book. It really is good.
Right. It was good.
TV show.
My daughter watched it before I did, which surprised me.
What other show?
Secret Wars.
Marvel shows? Secret Wars. Oh, okay.
That's the one I missed. And I did not watch the. Was there another Nick Fury series, or was that the Nick Fury series?
That was the Nick Fury series.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen any of it yet.
Yeah.
I will.
I didn't watch She-Hulk because I never really cared about that. I really wasn't a big.
Honestly, I think if you did watch it, you would be probably a lot more annoyed and aggravated with Disney, because that show is awful. It's got awful writing. Awful. I mean, it's really.
The last episode was lazy, beyond lazy. it made me lose a lot of respect for the show. I watched it because I wanted to see Charlie Cox as Daredevil again, and he doesn't let me down. Dude, he was awesome in it. He was fun. Yeah. His character was a little there were some stupid things. The walk of shame. Even though he had to do the walk of shame, that was ridiculous, and not Daredevil-like.
So on this kind of like note about like Marvel and their shows and their movies and their forthcoming projects, there has been a development in Kang Dynasty, the next Avengers movie. So there's Avengers. The last one was Endgame. That was number 4. So number 5 will be Avengers Kang Dynasty. Although I expect in the next 6 months we will get an announcement that they're going to retitle the movie because I don't think they're going to stay with Kang. But the director of Avengers Kang Dynasty is out. So they are replacing the director, or maybe he dipped out, and I think the writer too. So there's kind of this signal that Marvel is intending to totally pivot and not do Kang as their Avengers 5 villain.
What I wish Marvel would do is let the Endgame end that series. Just do another series. They don't have to interconnect. They absolutely do not have to interconnect. I just want story.
Right.
Entertain me.
And that totally makes sense from a storytelling perspective. That totally makes sense from a person that likes content perspective. And Disney has a whole room of accountants that are like, we need to capitalize on this investment.
They made so much money on the first entire series. Just do it all over again now. Do it all over with a whole new group of IPs.
My feeling is that they're burning the good faith of consumers, you know.
Did you see the Madam Web trailer that dropped?
I did. I was going to ask if Deke had seen it. I don't know if you had seen it. You haven't seen it?
Dude,
yeah, so there's it definitely looks interesting. And Deke, I don't know if you read Spider-Man back in the early 2000s. There was a character named Ezekiel Zim, and he was kind of associated with the Morlands, and he was hunting down the avatars of the spider avatars, whatever. And
I remember that. That was good.
He's the villain in the movie. It's it's pretty cool. Maybe tomorrow we'll check out the trailer. I know it's very late and Deke's back hurts, so maybe we'll scrap.
Good.
You good?
I'm good. I'm fine.
All right. Well, I think that I think we're pretty much wrapped up. I was just gonna look down the list and see if there was any of these Marvel shows you guys are interested in. What if season 2 trailer just dropped, and then the Madam Web Spider-Man trailer just dropped? The Spider Women trailer.
They're all potential Spider Women, and she's basically precog. Madam Web is precog, so she knows the stuff is coming.
It looks kind of interesting. I didn't know it was happening. It looks pretty interesting. So maybe we'll check that out tomorrow. And they have X-Men 97 coming next year. They have the sequel to WandaVision coming out next year. They have Ironheart. Don't think anybody cares about. And I saw down this list, there is not only a Marvel Zombies series they're going to make a Vision Quest series with White Vision that was resurrected in one. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Good.
All right.
I need to watch Loki. I'll watch Loki.
Yeah, I really want you to. Okay, guys, if you haven't already, subscribe. I'm so grateful to you for hanging out and watching with us. Avengers. Yeah, Avengers corrected me also. Pedro, not Pablo. My bad.
Yeah.
Come be on the show and then fluff on screen and then tell me make fun of me then. I dare you. All right.
I want you to, please.
At the end of our show every episode, you deserve some humor, so we bring you the jokes. Guys, do you know how much a hipster weighs?
No.
Good. No.
Obviously, a hipster weighs an Instagram.
That's a good one.
That is. That's nice.
No,
that's not 90s. That's not 90s.
From the 90s box.
Because Instagram didn't exist in the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know when this was made. All right, sir.
All right. Yeah. So you know how some people call the toilet the John?
Yeah.
You know, I call mine the gym. All right. Oh. Just because I can go around boasting every day that I spent 2 hours in the gym.
Boom. Yes. Yes.
It makes people be like, really? I'm like, yep. Almost 2 and a half.
All right, I messaged my wife about our meetup. And I told her,
did you?
I not really, but this is for the joke, okay? Just go with it. I already messaged her about the meetup. And I said, I absolutely must hang out with JJ and Deke, and it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
She hates my mandates.
Oh, that's good. I think that's great, actually. All right, this folks, like, subscribe, join us tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, drink coffee, read news. We love you. Call your mom.